Welcome to r/relationship advice. Today we have a story with an update about a couple and a deadly disease. My boyfriend of 4 years, 22-year-old male, just told me, 21-year-old female, that he slept with his HIV positive co-worker. He says he wants to marry me. I feel so lost. I'm sorry in advance if I ramble. I'm just so keyed up, and it's hard to think, let alone write. So, I met my boyfriend, Reggie, almost 5 years ago. We worked together in the job I had during high school. I was dating someone else at the time, but after that relationship ended 4+ years ago, Reggie asked me out, and we've been together since. I love him so much. Particularly in the first couple years of our relationship, he was just a dream come true. He's funny, and silly, sweet, and loving, and listens to me, but doesn't let me take myself too seriously. At the same time, things haven't been easy, and I often feel like I have to pick up the slack for him, and for our relationship. Like, he lost the job we were at together. He would fake being sick when he didn't feel like coming in, or when he's hungover, and then took a year to get a new job. The only reason he got a new job is because I literally came to his house, got him out of bed, and into the shower, drove him to his new employers, filled out the application for him, and then waited while he interviewed. I guess that's all beside the point. I'm trying to say that there have been problems before this, and in retrospect, I'm realizing that there are things I just didn't want to see. Like, there was this girl, in her 20s, who was hanging around him at our old job for a while. I didn't think much of it until she got my cell number somehow and left a voicemail. Reggie found out and convinced me to delete it without listening. I wonder now whether he was cheating with her. So anyway, the last few months haven't been great for us. Reggie's felt distant and less interested in sex. This morning he called me crying and told me that a few months ago, he slept with his co-worker, 30s female, who is HIV positive. Reggie seems positive that we are both positive too. We were supposed to be monogamous, and I'm on the pill, so we didn't use condoms. He drove to my apartment. I live near my college, about 30 miles from a hometown, where Reggie still lives, and was begging me to forgive him. He says he was drunk, which I believe. He drinks a lot, which is partly what impacts his job performance. He was on his knees, crying, and begging, and then proposed. I don't know if he even really meant to do it. Once he started talking about us getting married, and surviving AIDS together, and then dying together, because I guess that's romantic in some Twilight sort of way. I felt like I had an out-of-body experience. I just couldn't take in what he was saying, and couldn't process how I felt. I told him I needed time to think, and he eventually left, and now I'm just sitting here feeling like my life is over. I just don't know how I feel, or what to do. Obviously get tested, but otherwise I'm really lost. I'm mad, I guess. Like intellectually I'm mad, but emotionally I just feel really numb. What if Reggie is the only one who ever loves me? What if this is the only proposal I ever get? I just feel like I must have deserved this somehow. Wouldn't a smarter person seen this coming and got out? Or just attracted someone better? So, what should I do? How do I handle this? Update. I'm sorry for how long this is. I tried to be concise, but my emotions are all over the place, and I'm not doing great at regulating myself. Thank you to everyone who responded to my initial post. It was so helpful to hear how outraged everyone was. I thought I'd get a couple of outraged people, but expected most to be more sympathetic to Reggie. The last few days I've been realizing that, although I feel sympathetic to him, other people see him way differently. Things have been so surreal this week. I feel like up is down, and I've suddenly had rose-colored glasses removed. So, I went to the doctor on Wednesday to get tested for HIV and everything else, and got a call back this morning. I'm negative. My doctor wants me to come back in 6 months in case it just hasn't shown up yet, but he was very soothing in telling me that it was unlikely I have contracted HIV. During that visit we talked about my sexual health history, and I told him that I was diagnosed with chlamydia during the first couple months of my relationship with Reggie. He was also diagnosed later. I had thought I had gotten it from my ex, who denied having it when I told him, but he also cheated, so I didn't believe him. But my doctor thought that was unlikely, since women tend to show more symptoms sooner than men. He thinks it's more likely Reggie gave it to me. He gave me a pretty stern talk about not trusting people who don't deserve it with my health. I have been thinking about what to do about Reggie, whether to break up, whether to go no contact, etc. I never really considered saying yes to his half-bleeped, depressing proposal, but I have had a hard time imagining leaving him. I just wanted some time to process and figure out what I want, separately from him. But even though I've asked for time to think and to be left alone until I'm ready, Reggie has been overwhelming me with calls and texts. He gave me like 8 hours after he left my place and then started calling over and over. I didn't answer and just texted him, "Give me some space. I'll tell you when I'm ready to talk." Then he started texting me non-stop, like 40 texts Tuesday night alone. Initially they were sweet texts, telling me how much he loves me and how I'm the only person who really matters to him. But then they started getting mean. Like on Wednesday night, he texted, "Just a thought. Who'll remember your phone number in 10 years? Exactly. No one, but me. You're your own worst enemy right now." His pet name for me. "Should we go to the pound and get some cats? I've banged some dumb broads, but you take the cake. I attract very sick women. You cannot fool me, no matter what piece of paper you attain. Even if it costs $100,000. I'm graduating college next spring." Like 10 messages including those, all in 15 minutes. I felt so awful receiving those texts, but also really shocked. Like, I know he's said some or done mean things before when we've fought, like that I don't understand my own feelings, and I'm afraid to love him because he knows me better than I know myself, or threatening to drop me off in the middle of nowhere when he's driving and we are arguing. But somehow this is more real to me. Reading each one has felt like a punch in the gut. He's been revolving between nice and mean so quickly. Like an hour after those texts, he sent, "The thing is, pet name, I love you and already miss you desperately. I guess I just never knew how to tell you what you mean to me." I've mostly been ignoring the texts until today. I went to see my old therapist in my hometown and basically spent an hour crying and attempting to say something understandable. She was so wonderful. Thank you to everyone who suggested I see a therapist. I was telling her about my uncertainty about what to do, and she said something like, mega paraphrasing here, "So, this guy has hurt you, cheated on you, put all the responsibilities for the relationship and his well-being in your hands, endangered your health twice, and you're not sure to stay or go? What could possibly be so wonderful about this guy to make it worth all of that?" Which is basically what you all said. I haven't told any of my friends or family what's going on, so hearing from a real live person who knows me and cares about me really hit me. It's so hard for me to imagine leaving Reggie, but I think I would hate myself if I stayed. I want to go to graduate school, to travel, to have a meaningful and good life, and I think if I stay with Reggie, my whole life will be about taking care of him. So, after I left my therapist's, I texted Reggie and asked to meet him in public, based on my therapist's advice. He refused to meet me in public and asked me to come to his house, actually, his parents' house. He still lives at home. I refused and said public or nothing, so he called me. I answered, and he was awful from the beginning, telling me I've been brainwashed, that he'd never hurt me, and so either someone has been poisoning my mind, or I'm just too afraid of my attraction to him to be alone with him. I tried to be calm and tell him what I want, but he would not listen. In the end, he was screaming at me about how I'm a bleep who deserves to die alone, and I was just sobbing. He told me he never wanted me anyway, and that he would lose my number, and then he hung up. After that he waited maybe 15 minutes, and then started texting me, "This is exactly why I'm leaving you. I knew anything you had to offer would never be seen. You should have left when you found out about girl's name instead of playing my sympathy. I think that girl must be the girl who left the message on my voicemail, but I don't really know. OMG, my name. Drop your little barrier. We are cool. You should be more advanced in emotional matters than I am. Quit being a goofball. We are great together. Come over. I'll barbecue for you. We don't have to have sex. I haven't responded, just went home. I guess this means I made the right choice, but mostly I just feel terrible, and I have this ball of anxiety in my chest. I still feel like my life is over. I don't know what to do. Like, if this guy, a guy I've been devoted to, doesn't want me, what does that mean about me? Here's the first comment. Holy crap. Maybe with some time and perspective you'll be able to see the huge bullet you dodged. Here's a reply. Bullet? A freaking nuke, buddy. This was a whole war and aftermath averted, not just one shot in a battle. Here's the next comment. Girl, those texts are ridiculous. Don't you ever let anyone talk to you like that. Block his number. You are so much better than that. Tell your family it's over, so they can be there for you if you need it. Just because he is scum doesn't mean you can't mourn the relationship. You'll be sad, but that's okay. Whether he wants you or not does not matter. You don't need someone to want you. But there are plenty of good people out there to get to know that won't treat you like garbage. Here's the next comment. Oh honey, how is it even a question of what to do? You dump him, block him, and never ever talk to him again. If he harasses you, go to the police. He exposed you to HIV. He's cheated multiple times. He emotionally abuses you. He treats you like crap. I know it's hard. I know it's scary, and I know he will come at you being Prince Charming, but you need to let this go. You deserve better, and there are better men out there. When you said, what if Reggie is the only guy who ever loves me? What if this is the only proposal I ever get? Those are Reggie's words coming out of your mouth. He has you broken and brainwashed. Please consider therapy to help work through what is going on right now. It will help you get clarity and hopefully rebuild some self-esteem. Here's the next comment. What you're feeling is grief for the dream of what you thought you had with him. Don't be too hard on yourself. Grief is a process. It will get easier in time. Give yourself time to create new dreams, new ways to imagine your life without this creep. I'm sorry you've had to go through this, but take heart. You ask, what does this say about you? It simply says that you had a lesson to learn. That's all. Getting involved in a bad relationship doesn't make you a bad person. It usually means you were innocent and trusting and a bit naive. Now, you've learned that not everyone out there is as trustworthy as you are. Here's the next comment. Ugh. This is exactly what I went through 4 months ago, except my ex decided to push it further, lost his goddamn mind, and attacked me. Everything about this, the texts, the begging through his tears on his knees, the marriage thing, it all happened to me. Even the health scares, and the cheating. It will get better. To be honest, a lot of his behavior with his texting, and how he talks about you, even how you argue, sounds manipulative and abusive. Once this incident is on the horizon, it will be easier to see it for what it really is. Right now, you are in the thick of it, trying to make sense of everything he did. But it will get better, I promise you that. I'm proof enough that you can survive a whirlwind, loving relationship that fades out and turns right side up. It's hard, but each day that passes, you'll realize that life is better than babysitting a cheating adult kid who can't be trusted with your health. If you feel like you need to, I would even go as far as getting a restraining order if you don't feel safe. It's what I did, and honestly, I think I'd still be holding on to him if I didn't do it. Take care of yourself. I'm always here if you need to vent or get personal advice over this. We've been through eerily similar experiences, and we are both the same age. You are a beautiful bad bleep. Here's the next comment. You are worth more than what this person is giving you, so much more. Ending a relationship is hard and scary, even when the person has given you every reason to leave. I can promise you that no matter how hard your chest hurts right now, it will pass. None of this is normal or acceptable behavior on his part. He is saying anything and everything to try and mess with your head. When I was around your age, I was in a relationship where he would send me insane text messages like that for no reason. I didn't pay attention to the red flags, and things got a whole lot scarier before I got out. Be proud of yourself for being so proactive, getting to your therapist, and getting away from him. Thanks for watching.